Hi, I'm William Ivor Fowkes. I'm a playwright based in New York City, but at the moment I'm up in Connecticut overlooking the beautiful Ball Pond. My short play, Table Manners in Buenos Aires, was just published in Fresh Words, an international literary magazine, the May 2022 issue. And I've been asked to read my play, which I'm about to do. Again, it's called Table Manners in Buenos Aires. The setting is a restaurant in the Palermo neighborhood of Buenos Aires. The time is 2015. It's February, so this being South America, that means it's the summer. And it's an afternoon. There are two characters. One is Sophia, who's 60 years old, and her daughter, Laura, who is 30 years old. When the play begins, tango music plays and then cross-fades into the sound of rain and thunder. Sophia and Laura sit at a table by the window of the restaurant. Sophia stares out the window, contemplating the rain, while Laura stares into space, wishing she were anywhere but here. We start with Sophia. I will miss him. He's not dead yet. You heard the doctor. We have to plan for life without him. I'm not going to think about that yet. But you have to. Otherwise, you'll be like those young ladies out in the rain, without an umbrella. Didn't they consult the weather report this morning? That's why we're safe and warm, and they're getting drenched by the gods. We're safe and warm because we don't have any place to go. They probably have to be somewhere. Well, I hope it's not a job interview. Imagine interviewing somebody who's soaked through. How do you know they're looking for a job? How do you know anything? Laura stares out the window. Sophia. February in Buenos Aires. Sun one minute, thunderstorms the next. Or don't you remember? I imagine you're glad to be down here in the summer. Winters can be so severe in the States. Are you sure your phone's working? No one's called. Are you absolutely sure? You want to call them? Oh, no. I don't want to interfere. They said they'd contact us if anything changed. What are we supposed to do? Sophia picks up the menu and studies it. Well, maybe another Media Luna. They make the best ones here, don't you think? You can keep your French croissants. I would walk through fire for a sweet Argentinian Media Luna. Did I ever tell you about the Media Luna party I had for my 10th birthday? We served Media Lunas and blueberry tea. And all the girls wore pretty party dresses. That's right, they did. Oh, I guess I told you. Remind me to get Senor Mendez's mail when we get back to the apartment. He's off to the ends of the world again. Cambodia this time. Or maybe it's Cape Town. The man has been everywhere. So cultured, too. He's actually read Borges. I always hear classical music coming from his apartment. Your father's a little embarrassed around him, I think. A bit jealous, I suppose. Stop! Cultured people sometimes have that effect on others, but he's always been very nice to me. I don't think he's ever been married. I imagine he could use some female companionship. Laura suddenly jumps up out of her seat and backs away from the table. Will you shut up? He's not dead yet. Lower your voice, young lady. I'm just making conversation. Now sit down and stop making a scene, Laura. Laura sits back down obediently. Why don't you participate in the conversation? Tell me something about your life in America. You must know a lot of interesting people. Drop it. I'm not like you. I don't need to go running off at the mouth in times of crisis. Let's see what you do when you reach my age. If you're my future, just shoot me now. I'm glad you can joke. Oh, I know something that will take your mind off of this. Did you hear about the Alonso family? They went bankrupt. Who the hell are they? Language. They're the family with the big mausoleum at Recoleta Cemetery. You know, the one with the 3 large stone angels, right near Evita's tomb. We used to picnic there. Don't you remember? Wait, the one with the angels? That's right. You used to call them the Stone Sisters. I made up stories about them, how they were watching over the family. I used to peek inside at all that mahogany and the marble shelves. I'd never seen anything so beautiful. Okay, I know it. So what? They had to divest themselves of their mausoleum on the open market. So, you want to buy it? Is that what you're trying to tell me? Finally bring the whole family together under one roof? Maybe invite Senor Mendez to shack up there too. We could never afford a place like that. Besides, it already sold for 500,000 pesos. You must be so disappointed. I've never aspired to be buried in Recoleta. Such a shameful thing for the Alonsos, though. Imagine. I have a feeling the dearly departed don't mind. But the rest of the family certainly must. Indeed, the rest of society. I thought you didn't care what people think. Of course I care. All people do. All proper people do. Then why are you hooking up with your next-door neighbor while your husband's dying? What are you talking about? I've listened to you go on about Senor Mendez for years now. Always putting down Papa. Always comparing the two of them. How do you think that makes me feel? You don't know what you're saying. I'm saying the man's a saint to put up with all your bullshit. And now he's on his deathbed, and you're stuffing your face with media lunas dreaming about listening to classical music with a man who barely knows you exist. You've been away too long. You have no idea what life has been like down here. I can imagine. And what I imagine isn't pretty. But I don't even care. After Papa dies, I'll go back to the States and leave all this behind for good. You're just upset. I'm not upset! Maybe you need some tea? I don't want any tea! Sophia signals to an unseen waitress, but Laura starts to cry. I want my father! Sophia retracts her arm, embarrassed, and smiles at the people around her in the restaurant. Calm yourself. What do you need? You can't get me what I need. Such drama, Laura. Where was your concern before? Didn't you realize that moving so far away might have this effect? You're blaming me for what's happening? I'm just saying our actions have consequences. I moved away because I was suffocating down here. Papa encouraged me to go. He was just putting up a bold front. His heart was breaking. Don't you have any feelings? Of course I do. I've never seen them. I just don't believe in public displays. God, promise me you're not my future. No one can promise such a thing. Well, I can promise you one thing. After Papa dies and I go back to Denver, there won't be anyone left in your life. Don't be so sure. What? You think you're going to move in with Senor Mendez? Even if he wanted you, which I doubt, he's just as old as Papa. He's going to die too. Either way, you're going to wind up all alone in the world. How do you like that? Sophia takes out a handkerchief. Why are you trying to hurt me? You're a stone. You can't be hurt. Sophia's crying loudly now. I don't want to be left alone. I want to be loved. I deserve to be loved. Like everyone else, why does everyone always leave me? Laura gets up, goes over to Sophia, hugs her. No, don't cry, Mommy. I didn't mean it. I didn't mean any of it. Yes, you did. Of course you did. No, I didn't. I deserve it. I love you. Do you hear me? I said I love you. Yes, I heard. Don't you believe me? I always hoped. Well, I do. Laura's phone rings. She answers it. Yes, I can hear you. Yes, she's here too. What's that? We'll be right there. They want us. I think it's time. Sophia dabs her eyes with a handkerchief. I said, it's time. Yeah, yes, I heard you. We have to go now. Yeah, yes, I know. Come on, let's go. You go ahead. I'll meet you later. There may not be any later. I'm not ready. Mommy, this is it. Your last chance to see him. I said, I'll meet you later. Mommy! Laura rushes out. Sophia remains behind. It's all too much. All too much. She studies the menu. Maybe a fruit salad. They make the best fruit salads here. End of play. That was Table Manners in Buenos Aires. I'm William Ivor Fowkes. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.